Hello, everyone, and welcome to episode 161 of Sold with Updike Pugh.
I'm Jeff Updike.
I'm Weston Pugh, and this is the first episode of 2022, and we're so excited to be here.
Yay!
We've got amazing homes today. We've got an amazing one in North Dallas in Sparkman Club, and we also have one in the Kings Highway Conservation District over in the Cliff. So if you don't know any information about those, stay tuned because we've got some great tips about what's in that area. And then also we want to highlight two amazing houses as well.
Yep. In our second segment, we're going to have a conversation with Jeremy Radcliffe about the qualification process and buying a second home. A lot of people are doing it right now. A lot of different reasons to do it. So stick around to the second segment for that.
And the crazy thing about the second segment is that we shot it on location and then stitched it and did it all with iPhones. Really excited. That 2013 iPhone cinematic mode is quite incredible.
It really is.
Say.
It really is.
So, new year. Did you have a great, we had like 3 weeks off, I think, didn't we?
Yeah. Yes, we did.
And did you have a great time?
I did.
Good. I actually went to East Dallas and hung out with my brother and East Texas, and it was a really great time. It was funny because I was texting some of my friends about what we were up to. We made sugarcane one day, and we hunted and did a bunch of stuff. And one of the girls, Summer, replied and said, "What dude ranch are you at?" And it was the Pugh Dude Ranch, that's for sure. It was a great time. Had a wonderful time. Can't wait to go back. But yeah. Overall, it was a wonderful season. Because it was so warm, we got to do so much more outside. And I think that just really kind of extended the life of it, made it that much more of an outdoorsy kind of Christmas, New Year's. It's wonderful. I loved it.
It was a great season for me too. I spent most of it just with friends. I mean, it was really, I've got 3 or 4 little groups of friends that we spend probably 90% of our time with. And we made sure that we made it through each of those groups and just really had a great time.
There's the family that you're born with, and there's the family you choose along the way, and you have a very extended family that you have chosen along the way, is the way I will put it.
I do.
It's quite amazing. It's interesting because it's as we were beginning to formulate this year, we were going to start incorporating second segments that actually bring in guests like we did back in 2019. We took off 2020 just because of the pandemic, and we've really realized that what makes that interesting is being able to go on site and shoot it. So if you have ideas, anything that pertains to real estate or something that's very specific to Dallas, let us know. Give us a contact. We're right now in the talks with a pie company. We've got an organizer, fence company, sheds. What was the other one there's a couple. Anyway, we've got a lot working. Love your ideas and input. Let us know. And we'd like to get a little introduction and get going on that.
Sure would.
So, you want to talk about some market update? This will be interesting. It'll be interesting to see what we're going to compare this to, given that this is the first week of the year versus last week of the year. And again, this is just a real interesting time in the market.
It really is because there's the market kind of goes into a little bit of a funk right there between like December 25th and the first couple of days of January. So I didn't change the dates on it. That's
As I say,
so
interesting days.
So this is actually through today comparing last time we gave you stats, which would have been that December 14th week through this week. Now the numbers below we do have all correct. So new listings were down, which is just that we know that would happen. They were down by 50%. There were fewer that were back on the market. There were fewer price decreases. You can see all of those numbers really had some pretty significant drops.
Yep. And pending is when we go from we're outside of our option period and now we're ready to get even closer to getting that under contract. And you can see that is at 16, which is down. Sold's not down as much, so it's 2,400-ish to 2,600, not so bad. And coming soon, now we're going to see this number really begin to increase. Coming soon actually went from 174 to 215. It's 90% increase. Interestingly, that is not a field that is captured by other websites that don't belong to our MLS. So long story short, if you're looking in a specific area, and coming soon is going to be very, very important in the spring market, let us know. We can set that portal up and make it where they actually come to you. You want to be able to see if this is a house that has interest to you and get to go buy it before it comes on the market. I think that we can't stress that enough going into this next market. It is going to be critical that you're there before it goes on market if this is a hot house.
It really is because, the opinion that I'm seeing pretty much across the board from real estate economists and even people that are outside the industry is 2022 will probably not be as hot of a market as it was in 2021. Which really just means that you're not going to get 10 offers on a listing, you're going to get 5 offers on a listing. So it's still going to be uber competitive. The Federal Reserve has indicated that they're going to have at least 4 hikes in the Fed overnight rate this year, and that's going to cause interest rates to go up. We've actually seen just a little bit of a bump already, even though the Fed doesn't meet until later in the month.
Yeah, and if you think about it, if they did 4 hikes, they still wouldn't hit 5.
No, they'd still be
It's
very
still
competitive.
low 4s, which is still amazing. I mean, you talk about people who bought houses in the 80s and 70s, and they're talking about it was the equivalent of financing with a credit card. So
18% interest. Even when I started, the interest rates were 10-ish. No, they were 12-ish. And then when they got down below 10, it was everybody's just screaming hallelujah. And now we're at 3.
I remember when my parents bought that house in Weatherford in '86, it was 12%. And I remember he refinanced it to 8 to 6. And then I think it finally ended up at 3. But just amazing how different everything is.
It really is.
So you want to talk about houses?
Let's jump into our houses.
What's the first one?
The first one we have today is 738 North Edgefield, and this is in the Kings Highway Conservation Districts, right inside the edge of that. Such a really cute home, great location. This is within walking distance to so many things. It's I would say a good walk, a distant walk over to get to Bishop Arts.
Yeah.
But if you got in the car and rode over there, it'd be a 5-minute ride. But the neighborhood that this sits in really feels like a neighborhood.
100%. And as this neighborhood sits up against Davis Street, the great thing is, and Kings Highway, is that everything is coming this direction towards this area. And so you're at a point where you'll begin to even walk even more, if it's not to Bishop Art Districts, to other restaurants and other coffee shops and entertainment areas. So it is a very unique portion to Dallas. I feel like the topography here is one of the things that also makes this a very unique neighborhood. Trails have really come in and play a great portion of this Kessler area as well. So it gives you a really nice lifestyle, work, entertainment balance, kind of similar to what I would say maybe a portion of East Dallas feels like, maybe over there towards Hollywood Heights and whatnot, just kind of the topography and the proximity to things that you can do and walk to. So it's overall a really great, easy get around neighborhood. If you have to work in Fort Worth, or if you need to head north on 360, this is a really great place to land, because I feel like you could get to, let's say you had to go to Baylor, Scott and White over there off of 183. You could take 360 up and probably be there in 20 minutes. So it's a really great way to think about other areas that give you something to do and still be able to commute to work quickly.
Absolutely. So the house itself is such a cute little home. It was built in the 80s, which much of that area was built in the 30s and 40s, but it's got 2-story brick, fantastic drive-up appeal, bright red door. You cannot miss that. It's on a little bit of a curve, which I really like, because it makes it sit just a little bit off from flat facing everybody else.
And what I love about this house is we sold this house to the clients and it looked completely different. And they have really poured in their time and energy into this, from the paint, the flooring, we'll talk about that later, the windows, the doors, the way inside meets the outside. It is a full package house. And I feel like so many times in Dallas, we have buyers that either want Home Depot or they want happy hour. The two shall not mix.
That's very true.
And this is someone who's looking for happy hour. So that means that this house is turnkey and it's ready. So you have the very open concept living room that transitions into this dining room. And the dining room is great because I like the fact that I felt like game night, you could seat 10 people around this and play one of y'all's famous games that y'all play. Or you could have an easy evening with 4, or makeshift home office if you needed a second place to set up shop.
Kitchen's been totally redone, quartz countertop, stainless steel appliance package, really an open feel to what was probably a more closed feel when it was built. Little private area right there for additional storage off to the right. and the tile backsplash, new windows. Really, so much of the core work has been done on this house.
Yep. And as you see, it's a clean, light and bright, great windows. Windows have been replaced as well. This opens up to the backyard. So you do get a view of the backyard. You also have a door off of the kitchen to the backyard, which really makes it great. If you're a pet lover, this is going to be a great home for you as well. No expense was spared on this kitchen. It just seems like one of those houses that was completely thought out when the redo happened.
I agree. And the downstairs, you've got a full-size bedroom and a full bath, and your your laundry area, which is right behind the sliding doors right there. This downstairs bath is fantastic shape. This is the what could be considered the master bedroom on the first floor. It's really a great size room. That is a king bed there, and you can tell you've got a lot of space around that. New blinds have been done. The awnings on the outside are fresh. It's just been refreshed from front to back.
So as we head upstairs, you can see that it's wood rise overrun, which is really great. And then you come up to this soft landing. And one of the amazing things they've done is they've used sheets of glass installed to create this visible, no obstruction in your view with a handrail that's chrome. There is a little gate that they put up that blocks that off and creates a space where you can keep distinction between the pets. Second bedroom is upstairs. This is really great because this bedroom right here, they've created into a living room. And off this, you have a little outdoor space. So it's a really great deck space, which overlooks the backyard. And it's really nice because of the way the configuration of that closet opens up and allows you to have all of the audio video in there.
And this is outdoor space that's off of that bedroom that Wes was just talking about. And this has been reinforced with new steel beams. So you really do have, a lot of outdoor space. We're going to get to some of the other here in just a moment. But, this is the bathroom on the master bath upstairs. This home really could be counted as two master bedrooms and bathrooms as far as I'm concerned.
Absolutely.
Big walk-in shower, frameless glass roll door in the shower, and even down to the selection of the pendant lights here. She's really done an amazing job.
It is, and it works out perfectly, and it's a very smart laid out. It's not a congestive bathroom. When we come downstairs, we're going to go outside and we see multiple seating areas. So this one has a pergola. This one is actually off of the living room, and also the block glass was what we saw in the dining room. And the gate there, so it's easy to come in and out, but it's a really great place because of the way they've added the covering to the pergola that you can sit out here in the rain and enjoy it. I think that's really a great time to enjoy a pergola. Most people don't think about that. But this is a place that, as we've all experienced during this pandemic, having multiple places to work is so important. That would be a great one.
And great fence condition all the way around. You can see the outdoor storage building that comes with it. She has also purchased these flies to create additional shading in the yard there, and which I think makes a lot of sense because the backyard on this probably gets an amazing amount of sun.
Artificial grass makes this even easier to care for. So what's better than not spending money every week on a small area is just spending it up front, and it's beautiful year round. Again, we've got another seating area, which is great. And that other door there where the electrical panel is, that is the door into the kitchen. So as you can see, this all works out.
So 738 North Edgefield Avenue is a 3-bedroom, 2-bath, built in 1985. It's almost 2,000 square feet, and it is priced at $515,000, which brings it in at $263.82 a square foot.
Yep. So this is going to be in the comments below. You can check on that link, get an information, other pictures that we may not have used. If you don't remember all the stats about it, those will also be listed in there, and you can expand the map and get an idea of where this sits and the proximity to the things that you know and love. If you would love to see this house, let us know. We'd be happy to make that happen, and we will move on to the next house.
Okay.
Next house is going to be 3217 Galahad Drive. And as I mentioned in the story teaser on Facebook, this is going to be the one that is in Sparkman. Sparkman is a great neighborhood of North Dallas. It is one of those neighborhoods that once you live in Sparkman neighborhood, you are going to stay in Sparkman neighborhood probably for 20 to 30 years.
It's such a it's really such a sought after neighborhood. There's rarely anything on the market very long there. One of the advantages to this area is you've got such great access to virtually any of the highways, I-35, 635, you can get over to the tollway within probably 4 or 5 minutes. And in Sparkman Club, they also have the Sparkman Club that you can belong to that has pool and tennis courts and outdoor space, basketball courts, and all of that for less than $600 a year for your household.
Yep. And true story, when I tell you you're not going to leave for 20 or 30 years, one house over from this one, we sold that to our clients. We sold that for our clients, and they turned around and bought a house on the street behind them because it was bigger, newer, nicer. So again, you're not going to leave the area. It's easy to get up and down, whether you're going to go to On Rotation for a beer, or you're going to go to Republic, Texas over on Inwood, or shop at the Central Market over on Midway. This neighborhood has what you're looking for. And if you're an outdoorsy, Blackman Lake, right around the corner.
Right around the corner.
Join the rowing team. Dallas's rowing team is housed there.
Yeah.
I find that interesting because I thought it would be at White Rock Lake, but oh, no. It's over here. And this neighborhood also is probably an 8-minute Uber ride to Love Field, but it is situated where it doesn't run under the flight path, which is great. So again, we're talking about all the elements that make this neighborhood so desirable for Dallas people who know Dallas. If you're not from this area, let us know. We can make it happen for you.
We sure can. So this home has wonderful drive appeal. This is a one-story ranch, double-door entry. All of the windows have been replaced. Great front porch here, really super inviting with the slate, and the those are probably the original columns on the left there.
So one of the things that we love about ranch homes of this era is the way that they have this space. So it's great to leave this front formal living and dining as it is. But as we all know in Dallas, this really can become a magical space and really create a very open floor plan. So it has so many opportunities, and I think that's what is such a draw to today's buyers. So many people, if they can't find what they want to find the house and be able to put their stamp on it, and this is that house.
It sure is. A lot of work has been done. Granite the countertops, stainless steel appliances, 12 by 12 tile floors. You have your laundry room that is just down the hallway to the right there. And, you know, the house is just organized super well.
And I think it's in that picture, I don't know if it's quite as easy to tell, but that is a huge kitchen. So if you're a cook or you've got a family and you need to feed them, this is a really great place. One of the great things that you don't always see in living rooms like this are skylights. And this is not just your regular 3 by 12 skylight. This is a Mohican of a skylight, and it is wonderful. Now, as we come down the hall off of that family room, this is going to be the master. We've actually had this thing repainted. So all the colors that you see here, we've brought them back down to more of a basic, I believe it's a light pale gray. It's wonderful. And as you see here, you transition into a really great renovated master bathroom.
Yeah, it really is. And it's the perfect size. You've got the big walk-in shower there that is larger than that, you know, when they usually convert the tub, double vanities, and pocket door, which I always think pocket doors are such a great use of space.
So bedrooms 2 and bedrooms 3 are down here with the master as well. So it's a really great way if the family or you need to be close for whatever reason, they set up. One of the things that I also liked about the bedrooms is that they're all the same size. So you'll never have the squabble who gets the bigger bedroom. They have walk-in closets, which are great. These are on the front of the house as well. And as you can see, ceiling fans, block and wired. It's great. At the very end of the hall, it is separated from the other 2 bedrooms and the master by this bathroom, which is a really great, easy thing that we see so many today. Just a really great house.
It really is. And this is the bedroom, the 4th bedroom that is back on the kitchen wing of the house. It is situated between the kitchen and going out into the garage. This is the full bath that is back there also. So great guest quarters if that's what you want. If you have a nanny that you need space for, that would be perfect for them. And the backyard in this is just incredible to me.
And you know what? It's only 2312 square feet, but it lives much larger than that. And I think that part of that has to do with the fact that this has a covered porch, that they've really extended this black Tejas gravel and fire pit, and then surrounded it by more of a natural grass here that you see, just to create that living space, swagged it with the lights above so that it is more of an evening or morning space. It just brings you out. The other thing too is they spent the money on this grass. So I believe this is a zoysia grass.
It is.
And if you know about grasses, this is a more of a drought resistant and has a longer lifespan, both in the spring and in the fall. And it just goes so well in the neighborhood.
So 3217 Galahad Drive, 4 bedrooms, 3 bathrooms, 2-car garage built in 1960. It's a little over 2,300 square feet, and it is priced at $515,000.
That is a great house. And again, in the comments, what we like to do is share the direct link to you so that you can share with friends and family. You can click on it. Again, get more information from the pictures, stats that you can't remember as we were talking so fast, and then also expand that map and find out where it is near things that you love to do.
Absolutely. So great homes. Call us if you'd like to see them. We'd be happy to show them to you, and we'll be right back.
There are lots of ways to keep up with us. Visit and like our Facebook page to watch us live and get updates about future show topics. Also, visit our Instagram account where you can see the latest homes we have for sale. You can also check out our website at updikepugh.com where you can create customized searches of active and sold homes that you may find of interest. If you'd like to know how much your home is worth, visit homeprice.fyi and you can get a price instantly. Just enter your address and a couple of other pieces of information and we will email you a price. If you are on the go and podcasts are better for you, our second segments are available on iTunes and Spotify. Last of all, you can reach out to us by phone or text at 214-377-2223.
Hi, everybody. Welcome back to the second segment, episode 161, Sold with Updike Pugh. And we're going to do something different today. Starting off the new year, we have started doing some of our, we had so much fun when we had people come into the studio with us, but it's sometimes hard for people to fit this exact hour in their day in a week. And so we're pivoting. There's another word that's like that.
Transitioning.
Yeah, whatever.
I think that the other thing too is that technology changed because in 2019 the cinematic mode wasn't available on the camera, and it shifted dramatically.
As you can tell, he is super impressed with the cinematic mode.
I am, because like I didn't have it, and we did 2 different takes, and we edited it back in our office. And I said, okay, let's all make sure we've got the sound right. Let's take a look. And so I looked at Zach's, our marketing guy, and I looked at his and I go, ooh, I'm not on the right setting. How do I get to that setting you're in for the video? And he's like, I'm at 13 and you're at 12. Needless to say, that is going to change very shortly. Thanks to Jeff. Thank you.
And so what we'd like to do is play for you an interview that we had with Jeremy Radcliffe talking about second homes and how to buy them if you need a mortgage on them.
Enjoy.
Hi, everybody. Welcome to the second segment, episode 161 of Sold with Updike Pugh. Today we have a very familiar face. It's Jeremy Radcliffe with SWBC, so welcome.
Yes, thanks for having me on. It's good to be.
Thank you for giving us your space today.
Yeah, you guys are in our space today, so welcome anytime.
The reason that I wanted to have Jeremy in today to talk was because the second home market has really changed over the last couple of years, and I think we saw in first pandemic summer of 2020, the market, second home market just exploded. People were running away.
Everybody wanted to get to a lake house and somewhere different.
Yeah. And then, it slowed down a little bit in 2021, but it's still higher than it was, percentage of the market is still higher than it was like 2017, 2018, 2019.
Yeah, and I think some of that, Jeff, has to do with partly guidelines have changed more in favor of second homes. They've gotten a little more clear. One of the things that happened in 2021 was there was a small window, it was about a 6-month window, where FHFA, which is kind of the oversight for both Fannie and Freddie, they had tacked on a pricing hit for any non-primary residence homes, so anything investment property, second homes. So rates had actually ticked up a little bit, so it maybe discouraged. That might be why we're not seeing the same figures as what we had in 2020. But we're still seeing a heavy demand. I regularly have people reach out saying, hey, what does it look like? Can we do a second home? What are the guidelines for that?
And that's all changed recently, hasn't it?
It has. We've seen some, I think for the positive, there's been some clarity on some of the guidelines. It used to be that you would have a mileage requirement. So assuming you lived in Dallas or DFW, it used to be that you had to be 60 miles away from whatever property you were looking to purchase as a second home. That's gone away because if you consider maybe someone was, they wanted to go buy a house on a lake, which maybe was only 30 miles away. Well, that was by definition a second home, but because of that mileage requirement. So that's gone away, very encouraging. It used to be that you'd have to kind of create this like destination location, like it had to be at a resort town. That's not the case anymore. There's scenarios where, and I talked to an underwriter yesterday, just said it has to kind of make sense. It's open to dialogue in terms of why something would be considered a second home.
It's still got the sniff test to it, but it's not quite as
Correct.
long
Yes,
of
the
a
sniff
sniff.
test is still there, and what they're looking for is like a great example of what wouldn't be a second home is if I live in Dallas and I want to buy a second home in Dallas. Well, that's probably a investment property.
Yeah.
So that's the difference. But I'm encouraged by some of the changes, and the qualification requirements have gotten a little bit more clear too. So
That's great. So what are some of the qualification requirements when somebody is wanting to purchase a second home?
yeah, so you can get in as low as 10% down. So
Wow.
if you're, I mean, and rates, as I mentioned, they're treated just like primary residence rates. So you could buy a home. We're still seeing low threes in those scenarios. One of the things that's been a big driver, I think, is that people are recognizing interest rates are starting to tick up, and some of the data in terms of inflation, some of what the Fed's talked about, raising rates. So I think that's been a big motivation for people to kind of consider, hey, is now a good time for us to get into an affordable second home?
I think NAR today said because of the comments from the Federal Reserve that they're anticipating mortgage rates, even on primary, secondary residences, to be close to 4% next
I
year.
don't doubt it. Yeah, we're going to start seeing that tick back up a little bit. One of the things in terms of qualification, it's interesting that I talked to this underwriter yesterday, and they said they define occupancy as being 14 days out of a year. So you just have to be able to stay in that home for 14 days out of the year. It has to be in a location where, well, one, it's limited to one unit. So meaning you can't buy a duplex. So it can't be a 2-unit or a 4-unit property. You could buy one side of a duplex. You could buy a condo, a townhome in a different location, but it is limited to one unit. It has to be suitable for year-round occupancy. So I was trying to think like what would that actually mean? And I guess maybe locations where weather wouldn't allow you to, maybe in Alaska or something like that. Somewhere like that where you couldn't have access to the property. The other thing is the borrower has to have exclusive control of the property, meaning they can't have some sort of agreement with a management company that would say, hey, you're not allowed to be in these weeks or months.
It almost kind of rolls toward timeshare.
Correct. Yeah.
feeling.
So it would be similar to like a timeshare. It's not a timeshare. It can't, by definition, be a rental property. However, it doesn't mean that we are seeing people have short-term rentals when they're not using the property, and there's nothing that would preclude that. So you just can't use that rental income for qualifying purposes. So
Big difference
yeah,
there.
big difference. And then outside of that, I mean, I think and we'll kind of go through qualifying ratios of how that works, but I think it's a great opportunity for people to get into a second home, and I think it's another tool that people could use for building wealth. If you consider what's going on, at least in our area, appreciation values year over year, it could be a great way to capture some of that savings and that appreciation.
Absolutely. What are some of the examples of people that you've worked with that have?
Yeah, I love some of these stories that have come by. We had a homeowner in McKinney. They lived in McKinney, had a great house up there, but they worked downtown Dallas. And so they were like, can we get a condo in downtown and I'll just stay there during the week and then go back home on the weekends? And it absolutely works. And it probably raised their quality of life too, not having to drive. We talked about the gas mileage. We've got grandparents, some good friends of mine, grandparents. They live in California. They've got young kids here or grandkids here in Dallas. And they bought a second home to have a place to come visit and stay and see the kids more frequently. We had parents in Florida. These are just examples. There's tons of them. Parents in Florida whose kids go to SMU, they wanted to be able to come in, go to some of the games, spend time with them, and so they've got a condo not far away from here. And then one of my favorites is there was a couple who loved going to Fredericksburg, Texas. They were there often. They like the wine country out there, and they found a home in Fredericksburg, and we were able to make it work as a second home. So
That's great.
yeah.
So what would you recommend someone do if they are well, let's jump back one. So from a qualifying perspective, what would give us a scenario that might?
Yeah, so
how that works?
it's basically like we look at any primary residence, or we're treating it the same. You just have to assume you've got credit, assuming you've got the assets to qualify. Then we're doing the debt to income ratios, which we've talked about a lot on your show. Looking at this example, so let's assume someone's got gross monthly income, I'm just using this example, $8,000 a year. If they have a current housing payment, which includes everything, homeowners insurance, taxes, insurance, any HOA dues, let's say that's at $2,000 a month. Taking any other monthly debt they have, credit card debt, any car payments, any student loans, let's put that at $500 for our scenario. And then if they're trying to buy a second home, all of that PITI payment again, let's say that comes out at $1,500. You could go as high as $4,000 in your monthly debt. Divided by that $8,000 gross monthly income, you're at a 50% debt to income ratio. As long as the automated underwriting system approves it, which takes into account reserves, credit, all those things. But from a qualifying ratio, you fit. So it's the same as a primary residence.
So about 50%
Correct.
overall.
Yep.
Your minimum payments on all of your debt over here has
Correct.
to be 50% or less of your gross monthly income on the other side.
That's correct. And anytime we're looking at that 50% ratio, we try to, on our pre-approvals, say, hey, this might be more property specific. Just make sure we have all the info. But I mean, it's pretty cut and dry. And what I would recommend, I think you allude to it, is when you're considering, hey, does this scenario work for a second home? It's a great idea to talk to a loan officer. We can kind of run those, we vet a lot of those scenarios and we kind of chat through. And then we can tell you, hey, you may, this probably doesn't pass the sniff test based on what you're telling me, or it absolutely does. So
Cool.
yeah.
So if you are considering a second home, reach out to us. Certainly reach out to Jeremy. We'll have his contact information below, and find out if it is something that that you have a need, desire, and interest in. So
Yeah, I think it's a great idea. Go for it.
So thanks for joining us today. I really do appreciate it.
Thanks, Jeff. Thanks for coming out.
I hope you found that interesting, rewarding, informational. Jeremy is really a tremendous loan officer and has products and programs for almost anybody. Next week, when you tune in, we will, in our second segment, we will be talking about comparing 2020 to 2021.
Yep. So stay tuned. Join us next Wednesday at noon. And just remember, we want to be realtors for life.